I'm 92 years old, and I spent 40 of those years on my knees praying for justice, asking God to make them pay, to show them they were wrong and I was right. For 40 years, God stayed silent, and I thought He wasn't listening. But now I know the truth. He wasn't answering because He was trying to save me from myself. If you've got a few minutes, I want to show you something. Something about winning a fight that your pride won't let you see. I'm going to save you a lifetime of being on your knees for all the wrong reasons. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you, I wish someone had told me before I lost everyone I ever loved. You see, I used to keep a list, not on paper but in my mind, every wrong done to me, every betrayal, every lie someone told about me, every time I was overlooked, dismissed, disrespected. I remember them all like they happened yesterday. The dates, the words, the looks on their faces. And you know what? I thought I was right. I thought they had deceived me. I thought forgiveness was weakness. I thought it meant letting them off the hook, like saying, what you did to me doesn't matter. Like I was supposed to just roll over and pretend everything was fine. So I held on to it. I polished those grievances like trophies on a shelf. And every time I thought about how wrong they were, how right I was, there was this bitter satisfaction, this dark, warm feeling of moral superiority. Like I was standing on higher ground, looking down at all the people who'd failed me, who'd hurt me, who didn't measure up. The church told me to forgive, but I had my reasons, good reasons, biblical reasons even. God is just, I'd say. He'll handle it in His time. But what I really meant was, God, you better make them suffer like I did. You better show them. You better make them pay. I convinced myself that holding on to the hurt was somehow noble, that my anger was righteous, that my refusal to forgive was just me standing up for what's right, holding the line, refusing to be a doormat. I thought I was being strong, principled, a man of conviction. And for a long, long time, I believed that lie. I wore my wounds like medals, brought them up in conversations. Remember when so-and-so did that to me? Remember what they said? I made sure nobody forgot. I made sure I never forgot. Because forgetting felt like losing, felt like they got away with it. Then something happened. Actually, nothing happened. And that was the problem. Time passed. Years turned into decades. And you know what? I won. I outlasted most of them. Some of them apologized. Weak, half-hearted apologies that didn't satisfy me, because by then nothing could. Some never apologized at all. Some of them died, and I felt nothing, just emptiness, where I expected vindication to be. But I was still here, still right, still holding my ground, still keeping my list, still rehearsing my arguments. I had my victory. But here's what nobody tells you about being right. It's the loneliest victory in the world. I'm sitting in this house now, 4 bedrooms. It's quiet, too quiet. The kind of quiet that presses against your ears and makes you want to scream just to break it. The phone doesn't ring anymore. The friends I had, gone. Some passed away, but most just drifted away. They got tired of the old man who couldn't let anything go, who brought up old wounds at every gathering, who always had to remind everyone who was right and who was wrong, who sucked the joy out of every room by dragging ghosts into it. My children, they call on holidays, Christmas, my birthday. Duty calls, you know. But there's no warmth there anymore. No real conversation. Just polite questions and careful answers. I killed that years ago when I chose being right over being their father. When I held on to my grudge against their mother even after she was gone. When I made them choose sides in wars that didn't need to be fought. My grandchildren barely know me. I'm that old man in the chair. The one who smells like old books and regret. I won every argument. I proved every point. I held every grudge until it proved itself worthy. Until it calcified into something hard and permanent in my chest. You know what I got? A trophy made of ice. By the time I realized I was holding it, it had already melted. Left my hands cold and empty. Left my whole life cold and empty. I'd lie awake at 3 a.m, chest tight, heart racing, replaying conversations from 30 years ago, rewriting them, winning them again and again in my head, thinking of all the things I should have said, all the ways I could have proven I was right even more thoroughly. And the person I was mad at, they were sleeping just fine. They'd moved on decades ago, built lives, raised families, found peace. Some of them probably didn't even remember what happened. It was just me, alone in the dark, with my righteousness, my precious, suffocating righteousness. 6 months ago, I couldn't sleep again. Another 3 a.m., another night of playing judge and jury in my own head. My chest hurt, not a heart attack, just the weight of carrying all this anger for so long. And I don't know what possessed me. Maybe desperation, maybe loneliness, maybe God finally breaking through the walls I'd built. But I opened my Bible. It had been on my nightstand for decades, gathering dust while I collected grievances. And I started reading about this young man named Joseph, 17 years old, when his own brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery. Spent years serving in a foreign land. Got thrown in prison for a crime he didn't commit. Forgotten. Abandoned. If anyone had a right to hold a grudge, to demand justice, to make people pay, it was him. But when he finally had all the power, when his brothers came crawling to him, starving, desperate, not even recognizing him, you know what he did? He could have destroyed them. Should have, by my logic, by the logic I'd lived by for 40 years. But instead he said, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." And something cracked open in me. Something that had been sealed shut for decades, because I suddenly understood something I'd missed all along. Forgiveness isn't about them. It never was. Let me tell you the most selfish thing I ever did. I forgave. Not because they deserved it. They didn't. Not because it was a Christian thing to do, though I'm sure people would have called it that. Not to be a better person or to follow some rule. I forgave because I couldn't carry it anymore. I was dying under the weight of it. It was killing me, slowly, one bitter thought at a time. Forgiveness is the most selfish act there is, and I mean that in the best possible way. For 40 years, I was playing God, sitting in the judge's seat, holding the gavel, deciding who was guilty, who needed to pay, what the sentence should be, when enough punishment was enough. And you know what I learned? That seat wasn't made for me. It was never made for me. It crushed me. The weight of playing God broke my back, broke my relationships, broke my spirit, broke everything good I had. When I finally put down that gavel, when I handed it back to the only one who was strong enough to carry it, I could finally breathe. For the first time in 40 years, I took a deep breath that didn't hurt. I was in a tug of war, both hands on the rope, pulling with all my strength, face red, veins popping, teeth gritted, determined not to lose, determined to win. And one day, exhausted and broken, I just let go of the rope. Just opened my hands and let it fall. And you know what I discovered? Nobody was on the other end anymore. Maybe they never were. Maybe it had been years since anyone was pulling back. It was just me, pulling against myself, wearing myself out, destroying myself, year after year after year. The prison I was in, I built it, brick by brick, grudge by grudge, unforgiveness by unforgiveness. And I was the only prisoner. I was the inmate and the warden. They were out there living their lives, loving their families, making memories. I was the one locked up. I was the one who couldn't escape. I'm 92 years old. I don't have much time left. The doctors don't say it, but I can see it in their eyes. Maybe a year, maybe less, but I've got enough time to tell you this. Don't wait until you're alone in an empty house with cold hands and a cold heart to figure out what took me 9 decades to learn. That stone you're holding, the one you're ready to throw at whoever hurt you, it's getting heavier every day you hold it. Your arm is getting tired. Your hand is cramping, and it's only hurting you. They don't even know you're holding it. You think you're waiting for justice. You think you're standing up for what's right. But what you're really doing is building your own prison cell, brick by brick, and locking yourself inside, and then swallowing the key. Let it go. Today, not tomorrow, not when they apologize. They might never apologize. Not when they deserve it. They might never deserve it. Today, right now, this moment. Give God back his job. He's the judge. He's the one who sees everything. He's the one who knows every heart. You're not. I'm not. And thank God for that. Because you can't carry that weight. I know. I tried for 40 years, and it nearly killed everything good in me. It did kill everything good in me, until there was nothing left but this hollow, angry shell. Stop praying for God to hurt them. Stop asking him to make them pay. Stop begging him to show them they were wrong. Start praying for God to free you, to break the chains you wrapped around your own wrist. Because here's what I know now. Here's what I finally understand. God's been answering your prayers all along. Every time he didn't strike them down. Every time he didn't give you the revenge you wanted. Every time he stayed silent while you screamed for justice. He was answering. He was saying, I'm trying to save you. Please, child, let me save you. Let me free you from this. The door to your cell is unlocked. It always has been. You're just holding it shut from the inside. You're the one keeping yourself trapped. Let God handle the justice. That's his job. He's better at it than you'll ever be. And you go live. Love somebody. Call someone you've been avoiding. Let something go that you've been holding. Forgive someone who doesn't deserve it. Do it while you still can. Before you end up like me, 92 years old, alone, with nothing but regrets and an empty house, and a list of people who aren't even alive anymore to hear your apologies. Don't waste your life winning battles that cost you the war. Let it go. Please, just let it go.